everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we have a super quick and simple setup for July. I know I said in my previous video that I won't be using gouache again, but the way we're going to be using gouache this month is quite simple, so it won't take long at all. I am starting by painting some koi fish, and I know that they are a freshwater fish, but once I started incorporating the water flowing around them, this setup really reminds me of the beach and the ocean. I do have 2 beach trips coming up in July. Well, I just came back from one. I went to Bangsan a few days ago and I did vlog it as well. It is on my other channel. It is a lesser known beach in Thailand, so if you are interested, go check it out. This week, however, I'm going to Pattaya again, which I think is a quite well-known beach destination here. So yeah, lots of beach trips coming up, and I do think that this theme is very fitting for summer. For the waves, I am using 3 different shades of blue, starting with this light grayish baby blue color, my favorite color, and I'm just using a relatively big brush to make paint strokes that tapers off near the end. I didn't really have a method to where I placed each stroke. I just kind of spread them out somewhat evenly and made sure that the curves were aligned with the pencil lines I put in place on the top and bottom. I made them a little varied in size, but tried to stay close to the size of the koi fish so that it looks somewhat proportionate. I then moved on to the second color, which is leaning more green. It is like a light mint green color, and by the way, I really enjoyed reading all the comments about the color blue on my June setup. I basically said in the video that we have completely different words for blue and light blue in Thai, and just reading your guys' thoughts and what blue and light blue is in different languages was very interesting. I find it very fascinating how language and the language we speak can change how we see colors and things around us. I added little eyes to our koi fish, and you might have noticed that the paint got a little messed up at the end there, and that's because I wasn't careful and rested my arm on the page. I did try to clean it up, but it didn't really work, so yeah, that's just gonna be how it is. Then I am writing the July title with a Tombow dual brush pen. I kind of wish I did this differently. You'll see how I did the letters on the left page in a moment, and I wondered if the July title would have looked better if I did it the other way, but it is done now and I think it looks okay too. I haven't done a quote in a really long time, and this month I'm just simply writing endless summer because that is just the feeling I've been having lately. I've been out of school for a year and a bit now, but in my mind, June and July is still the summer holiday months. The title was looking a little dull, so I tried fixing it by adding a drop shadow, but I don't know if that helped. Not my favorite cover spread I've made, but we don't always have to make our favorite things all the time. At least this time I learned that I probably should look before laying my arm down somewhere. And that is our cover page done. Looking at it as a whole, I don't think it turned out that bad, and now we're moving on to the calendar spread. I taped off a part of the calendar because we're going to be painting waves in this area, and I want a very clean line where the calendar starts, but before we get to the waves, let's paint the koi fish. I'm starting with the light blue color again. I feel like for patterns like this, you should start with the color you want to be the most dominant color and go down to the accent colors, because you can really give space, like the priority of space, to the colors you started out with. So in my case, it is light blue, mint green, and the darker blue color. I drew the eyes on our koi fish and moved on to drawing the calendar grid. You know, I always want to say koi fishes, but I know that that's wrong, right? That is one thing my English teacher said over and over again, is that the plural of fish is just fish, and if you're referring to many different species of fish, then you can say fishes, but it just feels so wrong to just say koi fish throughout this video when I'm drawing multiple on each page. So if I slip up and say koi fishes in this video, just let it slide. It rolls off the tongue. I feel like it rolls off the tongue much better than just saying koi fish. For these calendar boxes, I did my dashed lines like I always do, and I rounded the corners of the outer edges to give it a softer look. Then in the top right corner of each box, I am making little circles with a blue Mildliner. It's light blue, isn't it? This color is light blue. I always want to say blue, but it's light blue with this light blue Mildliner. I didn't mean to make a circle for the first box. July starts on a Tuesday, not Monday, but I forgot, and that is fine. Then I started writing in the dates, but the circles weren't fully dried, so the ink kind of started spreading and creating a mess, so I switched to writing in the first letter of each day of the week at the top of the calendar for now, and we'll come back to the dates later. With these water-based markers, especially Mildliners for some reason, it can take a while to dry, and if you're not careful, it might smudge or spread and blend together and create a mess. For me not really liking the cover page, I actually love the calendar spread for this month. It is simplistic but not boring, and now let's move on to the habit tracker. I am first making the same pattern we've been making and spreading it across the bottom of both pages. Like I've said before, it is very quick to do. If anything, waiting for it to dry took longer than actually creating the pattern, so I had like less than an hour of footage, which I think makes this the setup with the least amount of footage and might be one of the shortest setup video, which was kind of refreshing from the 3+ hours of footage in my mid-year setup. Then I wrote in the habits title. I actually really like this style of lettering and it's quite easy to do. I just held my Tombow with the same weight and at the same angle and just wrote the letters. With the same Tombow, I made 6 bars, each are 7 grid spaces long to fit the week, and this is where I will write in each habit. And then I made little circles similar to our calendar page. Each circle represents each day in the month for each habit. I think I prefer this style of mini calendars instead of writing in the dates now. I did it once for one of my setups and I have been doing it since. Our last spread of this setup is essentially my tasks list, but I am calling it my project dashboard because I have so many projects going on in July, each one completely different, and this is just a nice way to keep them all organized. The way I will be using this is I will have a header for each project and then a running list for each of them. That is my setup for July. Let's now finally flip through all the spreads we made today. This style of painting is very different for me, but I'm glad I tried something new, and these colors just really reminds me of summer. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. My vlogging channel is linked down below if you're interested. Have a wonderful day or night. Bye!